A lot of times you go on vacation, you come home and you're rattled and you're like, I need a vacation from my vacation.
Yeah.
Because you're so busy seeing the sights and trying to check off all the boxes on your checklist. And a wellness retreat, you're not going to achieve anything, are you? You're actually going to decompress. And so there's a different energy to it.
Yes.
And that's very intoxicating in and of itself.
I feel like the locations that you guys choose are very intoxicating too. They just have breathtaking views.
Absolutely.
And you're just like, wow, it's so picturesque, everything around you. So you really do escape.
Leaf Life.
In this society where bars and music venues can be a frustrating and anxiety-inducing place to seek entertainment, many natural medicine seekers feel marginalized by the alcohol-driven status quo. So, where can we feel safe when looking to connect with our mind, body, and spirit? This is Wellness Retreats.
Because we want to hang out with some trippy hippies.
And get well.
In our first segment, Tribe Vibing. That's the nomenclature, man. And the second segment, the new age. But before we get educated, we've got to get medicated. So let's get stoned. Ooh, yeah. All right. Okay. Does everyone say yes? Yes. So wherever your day has led you, now it's time to fire up, chew up, or drink up and get in the mood as we introduce this show's Greg the Guinea Pig.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Greg the Guinea Pig. Who's our guest this week?
Well,
Greg the Guinea Pig warning. These tasks are undertaken by experienced cannabis users and under the supervision of accredited professionals. So please take our advice and definitely try this at home.
yeah, it's NATALI SHULTZ. She's the CEO and founder of ZOZ Productions, which is a Tier 2 small batch cannabis company with an events production division and a CBD line called ZOZ Wellness. A lot of stuff there, Natalie. Welcome to the Leaf Life Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
She's a busy girl, so she's not going to be smoking. She's got a business to run later today because we record midday or whatever. So let's hand it off to our pinch hitter.
And now, stepping up to the plate, here's today's pinch hitter.
And that is AJOG. Now, AJ, spin that wheel and see what you're going to be hitting.
All right, y'all.
And now, what's in AJ's stash?
What's in that stash, AJ?
We've got cured resin, Sessions cannabis extract, and pineapple parfait.
That's a sativa.
It's looking fire.
You know, Sessions is, next week we're going to have one of the owners of Sessions on the show for a Guns and Cannabis show. And we had a Bikers and Cannabis show with our guy Josh, who's also involved with Sessions, and they're a sponsor of the Leaf Life podcast. So we're super proud to be featuring them on the show. But you know how it is. You don't get high in your own supply, so they couldn't be smoking Sessions on their show.
Wow, you guys, this is very smooth. I love true cannabis terps. They're everything, and I love a sativa.
Indigenous cannabis terps, you know, you've got flavored carts and you've got the real deal, and that's what Sessions is, so
Bomb.
there you go,
The
AJ.
pineapple on that is everything, you guys.
Word up. So, Natalie, we're talking about a tribe vibe. You know, as you look at, here's our cover from last January's Weed and Wellness issue. And currently our new Weed and Wellness issue is out online and will be in stores within the next week. People are into self-care. It's sort of, you know, in the second segment, we'll talk about the new age. It is kind of the new age of this millennium. People, you know, not just women, but men as well, want to feel good about themselves.
Absolutely.
And they need a good pampering. But it's the spa, or it's the hot tub, or the shower, or the cold plunge, or whatever. Actually going out and joining forces with people who are into the same stuff for a retreat is something completely different, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think now more than ever, people really want to connect with their local community, with other people that are interested in the same things. So much of the industry is like very alcohol driven, like you were saying in the beginning. And to be able to get these large groups of people together that are all interested in hiking or yoga, we do sound baths on a regular basis. And then to just be able to incorporate cannabis into that as well.
Yeah, you know, getting away to feel good. It's not just a vacation anymore. It's kind of a staycation. You take your spa on the road, and not only is it, you know, quiet and serene and comfortable and pampering, but now you've got other people who are sharing the same frequency.
Absolutely.
Right? And when you're all in the same frequency, it's a different vibe than just getting self-care for yourself. It's almost like group therapy or group care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a different thing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have regular every morning we do yoga together. We go hiking. AJ has joined us in the past as well.
AJ's been there.
Oh yeah, you guys, it was awesome. And we really do sync up. We have sound healing. This amazing, beautiful sound healer comes out with her bowls and puts us through a 60-minute sound healing and yoga in the morning. And we cook together and we hang out at the campfire together and we do arts and crafts together. And yeah, everybody will go out on a hike and, whatever the activities are. There's volleyball sometimes set up or basketball nearby, but it's an opportunity to hang out with friends of all different ages. And we're all more or less, well, there were some people there that didn't smoke weed, actually. Yeah. It's very inclusive. So even if you don't participate recreationally with weed or mushrooms, still, we had people there that didn't, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody, the demographic is huge. Anywhere from Fresh 21, it is a 21 plus event. So from Fresh 21 all the way into people that are in their 60s that are absolutely participating in everything. It's been a really good vibe to see people from this very wide demographic all interested in the same things, finding commonality, finding reasons to be able to connect, wanting to be active while using cannabis instead of this kind of very stereotypical just bongs and beanbags, I like to call it.
We have some beanbags.
At
Leaf HQ.
Bongs, so we definitely have bongs too.
A lot of times you go on vacation, you come home and you're rattled and you're like, I need a vacation from my vacation.
Yeah.
Because you're so busy seeing the sights and trying to check off all the boxes on your checklist. And a wellness retreat, you're not going to achieve anything, are you? You're actually going to decompress. And so there's a different energy to it.
Yes.
And that's very intoxicating in and of itself.
I feel like the locations that you guys choose are very intoxicating too. They just have breathtaking views.
Absolutely.
And you're just wow, it's so picturesque, everything around you. So you really do escape, and it's usually they're 4 days long. So you guys, I have to tell you that, this wellness retreat I was invited to by my friend Carol, and totally unrelated to the Leaf. And in fact, I didn't even know Natalie yet. And, I go to the wellness retreat as a +1, and it was so fun and so enriching. And it touched all the points of community that used to be present in the medical era, very much so. And I was just very grateful to participate in an event like that. And then from there, I ended up wanting to write a story, and so I love this opportunity to talk about this on air because the Leaf really is full of original content. And we are out there, we're attending events, we're showing up, at your shop, and we're reporting back to the community with the experiences we're having. And this is an experience, you guys, that truly is enriching. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful how you treated me with so much love, right from the beginning. But it wasn't just me. You treated everybody like that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been watching how people have engaged with these particular kinds of events has been really interesting. We didn't know what kind of life it was going to take, if people were going to be coming and wanting it to be more of a party. And really, people have absolutely gravitated toward the wellness aspect of everything.
But it is a party too. And plant medicine is being woven in to this culture. Cannabis is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
A lot of the wellness retreats include things like ayahuasca or San Pedro and other plant medicines, hape and such. And that is a part of the growth, right? Because people, you go there to obviously decompress, but you also go there to improve yourself, your psyche. Decompression is a big part of that, which is a part of the
ayahuasca is not a party drug.
No, definitely not. Not meant for decompressing.
When you need a bucket, for
spiritual journey medicine.
No buckets required here.
That's good. But I think to the point that you're making, Ricker, people are looking for more. You can go if you want a party. That's everywhere. We have an entire culture that's built around party for football, party for Friday, party for Saturday. So that's out there. And I think that it's so convoluted that people aren't gravitating to that with weed. People want more of the experience and the community.
Activities.
And that's what we're lacking in our social media, work and home kind of worlds.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people that never got to experience kind of the cultural aspect of community within cannabis if they weren't there for medical, right? If you're just going to the store now and you're buying a regulated product, yeah, it's great that you can do that, but you never got to see what it was like. And so, we don't have Hemp Fest anymore. We don't have a lot of these local, appreciations for the plant anymore. And what you're doing is the most elegant thing that I've seen in it. So thank you for at least, going in and preserving that culture for us.
What's it look like? So you put, you market it and just people come and.
Yeah, really, we kind of the life that we've wanted it to take on is to resemble a lot like your childhood nostalgic summer camps that you would go on.
I love summer camp. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Originally, we were only going to do the camp during the summer, and then we got a lot of feedback that people really enjoyed it, wanted to do it more regularly. So they are year-round now. They'll probably be March through November. But yeah, people have just shown up really ready to engage with the community around them, really wanting to get to know people. We've tried to keep it really light and fun too. We do trivia nights, we do bingo, we do yard games for prizes, all kinds of things like that. But then we do really incorporate the wellness aspect. We like to get outside, we like to go hiking, we like to, bring in different healers.
And you come home with something. And that something is a new community. It's a few friends. Look, you guys made friends there.
Yeah, you literally come home with a group of friends and like wellness products because we do we have cooking lessons and mixology class. This last retreat, Natalie taught everybody how to make their own wellness formula at home with herbs and apple cider vinegar and just to do your own, 4-week process of extraction. And it didn't have to have cannabis involved. It's just a wellness formula that you would want to take every day that's going to help enhance your immunity. And it was beautiful. It's so much education and also just community participation. One thing that I have to say that I really appreciated was the different ages and the different races. Mm-hmm. There were a plethora of different, I'm like, wow, we're all represented here. This is cool.
Well, that's the new society we live in, one of open acceptance, where we're trying to rid ourselves as a society of racism and division. And in the second segment, we'll discuss the new age and how we're ushering in a new mindset in society. And this is a big part of it. But first, Natalie, it's time for you to play Common Lauraxogens.
How much do you actually know about the most mysterious mossback ever to scratch his chin quaff on an elk antler? This is Common Lauraxogens.
Yeah. So, bearded Loraxes love wellness retreats as well.
Yes.
By the way, they love a good pampering.
Just different remedies.
Of course.
They're all homemade.
Different levels of brush. Right? Different, levels of creams. I mean, it's just got to really get through that thick skin and that wiry hair. Right? Yeah. So anyways, much is yet to be, we know a lot about the bearded Lorax, but much is yet to be learned about this mystifying species. However, here's what we do know. Okay, you ready? I see you straightening up and getting ready. Pay attention.
I'm paying attention.
I'm ready to learn too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, well,
let's go.
Okay. So, number one. If it is said that a person is as strong as an ox, what is the bearded Lorax as strong as? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be guessing this?
100%.
Okay.
You should already know, but.
Common knowledge.
Common knowledge.
If a person is as strong as an ox, what is a bearded Lorax as strong as?
Strong as a mountain.
As strong as a tree.
That's a great guess. Wow.
Yes.
An Knox box,
Wonderful
perhaps.
guess.
A redwood. A big, giant, great, big redwood in California.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Shocking.
I'm sorry. The answer is the northern white and purple spotted musky bearded ox.
Okay.
Same species, yeah. It's true. This rare species has only been sighted in caves in the mountains of Mongolia, but is said to have enough strength to pull a semi-truck full of root beer kegs in 2 feet of snow against a stiff nor'wester, just as the bearded Lorax did when he appeared on the show Ice Truckers. You might have missed that one, unfortunately.
I think I missed that one.
Bummer. Okay.
Yeah, YouTube took it down.
That one's not streaming anymore.
Oh,
That's too bad.
0 for 1. All right. Number 2. If birds of a feather flock together, what does the bearded Lorax flock with? Yeah. Big.
No flocks given.
Okay. AJ's giving you some clues.
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Sasquatch? That's incorrect. I'm sorry.
Aw, come on.
The answer is garden gnomes. Not only does
My
the bearded
nomies.
Lorax have multiple garden gnomes strategically placed in his front yard to ward off Canadian geese who enjoy pecking through his unicorn droppings in search of magic gummies, but oftentimes he will kick it in the yard with them, nearly frozen after a nippy cold plunge in his Relax Cube 116-gallon ice bathtub.
True story.
True story.
Okay.
True.
You witnessed this.
I mean, not theoretically, only through Instagram posts. Bare feet, little gnomes in the background, cold tub.
That's right.
With floating turtle.
Instagram's
there.
Instagram's the real world, so we're good. And number 3, you got to redeem yourself here.
Okay.
All right. If the carpet in a casino is supposed to be confusing, what confuses the bearded Lorax?
I'm really bad at this.
Just, that's why you've got AJ
I think you're
on your
great.
side.
We got to go to the Seussicles.
That's why you're...
The Dr. Seussicles and pull a character out.
Okay.
And your answer?
What is confusing for the Lorax?
If the carpet in a casino is supposed to be confusing, what confuses the bearded Lorax?
The carpet.
Yeah. Your answer, please.
His shirt.
That's incorrect. No. The word caricature. Yeah. For as brilliant as the bearded Lorax is due to his watermelon-sized head that produces one of the solar system's most prolific beards and brains, no matter how many times he hears the word correctly pronounced caricature, there is a mysterious comprehension block that forces him to still say it as a... Wes?
Caricature.
There you go.
Caricature.
Caricature.
The caricature.
You guys are spending far too much time together.
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
It's hard.
Hey, if you want to discover cannabis news, reviews, entertainment, and culture, and explore every single Leaf magazine at your convenience, search leafmagazines.com. Coming up in our second segment, we'll dive into how the new age for wellness is upon us. We'll get another spin of AJ's wheel and kick it all off with another episode. We'll get another spin of AJ's wheel and keep the party going next. Leaf Life continues right after this.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming.
Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug.
There may be health risks associated with consumption of these products.
For use by adults 21 and older.
Keep out of the reach of children.
Leaf Life.
Welcome to the second half of this Leaf Life show called Wellness Retreats. In just a moment, we'll get into how with the insurgence of plant medicine, we are entering a new age for wellness. And we'll spin AJ's wheel to see what products NATALI SHULTZ, who's the CEO and founder of ZOZ Productions, which is a Tier 2 small batch cannabis company with an events production division and CBD line called ZOZ Wellness. This show's Greg the Guinea Pig is going to be passing off to AJ, our pinch hitter. So go ahead and spin that wheel, AJ, and let's see what you're going to smoking next. Alrighty. Let's party.
All right, y'all.
Party time.
So we've got the Sessions Cannabis Extract. It's a all-in-one vape cartridge.
Nice.
Live resin, no distillate. Skunk, baby.
hell
Some
yeah.
OG skunk. It's been a long time. I haven't had skunk in a while.
Smells like Pepe Le Pew's booty. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. It's actually very tasty.
Is it now?
Ooh, yeah.
I recently
Sorry, it's
interviewed
like choking me out a little. The limonene.
a company called Dewey Science here in Washington.
Ooh.
And they have tested for a substance called MBT that is actually in skunks and in cannabis.
No
and
way.
it's literally the chemical signature
Whoa.
that creates that skunky smell. So it is, and just like limonene is in a super lemon haze and a lime, like the same chemical. Like the skunk's butt and the weed literally are kind of right there.
So it's not a terpene?
No, it is not a terpene.
It is
It's
not.
an aromatic compound.
Isn't that like an anandamide as well?
That might be the term. The science is best explained by somebody much smarter than me.
Well, and
That would be Douglas Henderson.
I do know what this is, but the guys at Dewey Cannabis have been doing a lot of really incredible scientific inquiry work, like in their cannabis license. So they're serving two purposes. So it's incredible what they've been doing. I saw Mark Lange, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, who's a professor at WSU.
Yeah, he's a partner
who's done
there.
a lot of research on these
That's
specific
Washington
other
State
compounds.
University.
That's right. Homegrown there. So, and then anandamide, the God compound, right? That's a really similar compound to CBD, something that gives you that natural feeling of well-being that you would find in, a mother's milk. It's really interesting field of science, and let's change the industry and the research laws so we can learn more, right?
Right. Straight up.
Anandamide?
Say that,
Anandamide,
friend.
yeah.
Thank you.
Anandamide.
Yep.
Wow, I've never heard of it,
And
Natalie.
so anandamide is the same, like where you actually get that response from the same as like bacon and like truffles and the thing like when you smell it, it triggers that response. Yeah,
absolutely. And so that's an endogenous cannabinoid versus an exogenous cannabinoid or phytochemical.
Your body creates. So part of our endocannabinoid system is we create endogenous cannabinoids.
Totally.
And that is wild. I didn't actually know that. But it is proof, wild. Bacon, even Ricker, who hasn't eaten meat in a very long time, would say that the smell of bacon's pretty fucking delicious. It makes him cry a little.
Up.
But there's something there. There's these chemical smells. So it is very interesting to know that nature and cannabis are so connected. And it's not just like smells like a skunk. I mean, it really.
Yeah, well, I think, with like all the stuff that Natalie makes over at ZOZ Wellness on the CBD side of these things. Wellness is what it's really all about. If you're able to get, a similar chemical cascade to occur simply by using a product and helping your own system work better, that's a product worth buying. That's something worth using.
And by the way, the last time I ate bacon was with you, Wes.
It was, it was
chorizo.
We were at a Vegas buffet and like there was like shrimp and grits and it had like a chorizo mixed in and Ricker's on his second dish of it and we were like pretty hungover and I look over and I'm like, it's the chorizo that makes it fire, huh? And then we both like had that moment of like and Ricker had an accidental meeting. But he licked it clean.
Exactly.
Vegas is known for accidental meetings.
I'm going to honor that animal and I'm going to eat it. You know what I mean? If I accidentally, I'm not going to throw the rest of it away. It's just a thing. Anyway, hey, so the new age, here we are, right? The age of Aquarius. A lot of people believe that we are entering a new metaphysical age, if you will. And wellness retreats are a perfect example of where we're headed as a culture in wanting to become the best us we can possibly be, right? And so, right now it's great. You've got, crystal bowls, sound baths, you've got volleyball and fun activities. You use cannabis. Maybe you guys chant mantras or whatever. What can we look forward to in the future? And maybe even with technology or without it or with AI, where a wellness retreat will be something that you just can't get at home or anywhere else other than going there and being, with that either machinery or that intention that you, as the cultivator of this event, enters with.
Yeah, I don't think that you can replace being in person with people that everybody's on this same kind of path and on this same journey and needing the same kind of healing. I don't think that you can replace that at being, home alone on an app or in a program or anything. I think that especially moving forward, in light of everything that's going on in the world and how people are feeling about the world, I think it's really important for people to connect in person, find their communities. We'll be hosting these particular ones in the Pacific Northwest. Like AJ said, it's like the most perfect background and setting for all things wellness, getting outside, getting the real fresh air, being able to use cannabis in those spaces. And then we also are exploring, had hosted one retreat this year that was international, and we'll continue exploring that also in the future.
And is it like a cannabis event, or is cannabis just an element of it?
Cannabis is an element of it. There are plenty of people that come that don't smoke or don't drink, or, several regular attendees of ours have been sober for quite some time, and they still feel very comfortable in that space. They don't feel like anything is ever pushed on them or like it's a requirement. Like I said, it hasn't been like a big party by any means. It's really people focusing on their wellness.
So what's a program that includes cannabis at your wellness retreat?
What's a program?
Yeah.
We have regular smoke sessions basically. So we have yoga in the morning, but just before we'll do your wake and bake. So if anybody wants to participate in smoking before, they totally can. AJ actually came with nootropics to the last one and did a nootropics workshop just before we did sound bath as well, which was really cool.
That's a mushroom product.
Exactly. Yeah. Introducing just mushroom microdosing to the equation as well. Some people participated and some didn't. Everybody was perfectly comfortable with that as well. But yeah, we have regular smoke sessions for sure throughout the day. We'll go for a hike and have a session at the top of the hike, or yoga in the morning before we have a class, before a sound bath, before, pretty much before every meal, campfire sessions for sure. And we always have sun gaze, which has been like the best addition to, it's such a nice product to be able to have like a microdose.
God, it all ties together.
Yeah.
Completely.
By the way, sun gaze is Douglas's drinkable edible company.
Yes.
No, Natalie's events have always been amazing since even before she started doing the retreats. Being able to come out and commune with people has been awesome. They put on such a good show that
Thank you.
We just love being a part of it.
So how do
thank
people
you so
find
much
out
for
about
that.
it?
Yeah, on our site, everything is always, all of our events are listed on our site at ZOZcannabis.com is the actual website, or Live Well Retreats, so we can take cannabis out of the equation and have a little bit more access to marketing. But we post everything pretty far in advance. We'll be selling seasons passes for camp next year, which people took advantage of this year, which was really awesome. There have been a lot of people that have been to every single event, and it's very much, it's cool to watch them continue with that community afterwards as well. A lot of long-term friendships have been made there now, so that's been really cool to watch.
And what are some of the life-changing stories that you've heard people afterwards endorsing the event, saying, my gosh, this was a game changer for me?
Yeah, I feel like repeatedly people have been giving us the feedback that this was maybe not even what they expected. They came and really had an opportunity to completely just disconnect, meet people that they would never have probably been in the same space with otherwise, really find commonalities. And I think that right now, people are really needing that from community and moving forward, finding those close-knit communities in cannabis and outside of cannabis, I think is really important.
Well, that's where psychedelics and community scenarios can break down those barriers. Mm-hmm. And that's why if you look at native or indigenous use of psychedelics going back thousands of years, it was generally done as a tribe or as a community. And you would have the older, wise men and women, the tribal leaders. Yeah. You could call it indoctrinating or giving the youth, as you reach that age, and it's okay, here's your first, kind of taste of adulthood, and then bringing people into that experience, it creates more bonding. And our country is more divided than ever, but it's happened very quickly, and it's happened with the rise of social media. And just 10, 15 years ago, we had the 99% movement, and Americans were united, separate of the things that are used now to divide us. And I think that we can get back to that, but it's going to take healing. And the algorithms and social media have pushed us all into these little corners and these little demographics. But when you get together with people, you realize that despite what we're being told to think, we're all wanting the same things, and we all have much more in common than we do dissimilar. And that the things that we disagree about are about as relevant as whether you want pineapple on your pizza or not, when it really comes down to being in a community. Because it doesn't matter how people feel about certain things like pineapple on pizza when it comes time to be a community, have services for each other, lift each other up, and be there in terms of a societal structure. And so I think that rebuilding has to happen at a community level with psychedelics. I've written about it in my editor note. And it's what was happening at Woodstock. It was happening in the 60s, where there were large scale events that had started out of, kind of commune type groups that were growing, where people were taking psychedelics and coming together. And that was the scariest fucking thing to Reagan, or not Reagan, but Nixon. And led to the drug war that Reagan later instituted. And there are quotes from Nixon saying these people are becoming too connected, and they're anti-war, and they're anti-authoritarian, and they're anti-narrative. And I think that is the same thing we need to get back to today.
Yeah, I agree.
Coming together as a community and using those psychedelics to melt away those frame of reference barriers. We're all one tribe.
I agree. Yeah, everybody's kind of gets down their rabbit hole into these echo chambers right now, and like that's all you see and all you hear anymore, and it just divides everybody more and more and more. So to see people come together, like I said, like very wide demographic, whether it's your age, your race, your ethnicity, your sexual orientation, across the board, we've produced extremely inclusive events. That's the number one most important thing to us, is that everybody is welcome there. And to see people really thrive in that space, and you know, a 60-year-old man who has absolutely nothing in common, or he doesn't think he has anything in common with this 21-year-old kid, and they're hanging out all weekend and having a great time, and you're watching huge teaching moments because they both had very particular ideals about what they thought the other one would be like, and then that's not how it goes. So it's pretty cool.
It's therapy.
Yeah.
And everybody could use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't care who you are or where you're from. This has been a lot of fun. So now it's time for you to play Natalie, Florida Man.
This Florida man is accused of having sex with a miniature horse.
Arresting a naked man.
Obviously intoxicated.
Attacking a man with a singing fish plaque.
And waving bags of drugs around.
It sounds funny, but it's not once you're the one being given the wedgie.
It's Florida Man.
All right. So this one's kind of like Common the Raxigents, which we played in the first segment.
Okay.
You have to guess which headline is actually true. They all start with Florida Man.
Okay.
You're familiar, right?
Mm-hmm.
My home state.
I'm familiar.
There's even a Netflix show
That means
that
it's
came
about
out last year. Florida Man, the TV
Florida
show.
Man in front of you. Behold, the Florida Man.
All right. You ready?
Ready.
Number one. Here we go.
Just true or false?
No.
Oh.
One of these headlines is
Okay,
true.
got it.
You're going to get 3.
Okay.
They're all plausible, just like
Yes.
Common the Raxigents. Here you go. Okay, here we go. Number one. Florida Man carny operator with half mustache accused of planting cow manure under the seats of the Himalayan Express ride before turning the speed to high while attendees get sprayed with dung.
Oh my goodness.
Headline number one.
Half a mustache.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. Dung
Number 2.
Carney.
Florida man accused of stealing garbage from Miami white party because he claimed that the affluent attendees were being derogatory towards the white trash. Number 2.
Okay. White trash. Got it.
And number 3. Puppy shoots Florida man in self-defense.
Oh, what the fuck?
Puppy.
Now it's a toss-up.
I'm going.
Like, what are we going to do now?
I'm
for the
going
third
white
one.
trash.
That's wrong. Yes.
Does a puppy shoot someone?
close.
It's true. Jacksonville resident Jerry Allen Bradford set out to shoot 7 shepherd mix puppies because he was unable to find them homes and didn't have the feed to turn them over to a shelter. While Bradford held one of the puppy squirmed and its paw hit the trigger.
Oh,
Karma.
took down.
I mean,
Wow.
Have your pets spayed or neutered, guys. Do it like Bob Barker. Like, come on.
Poetic justice.
Power to the
Frank.
puppy. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Puppy
saying.
wins that one.
Anyone who's
Puppy
listened to
wins.
Leaf Life has heard Ricker's close. It's always please be kind to animals.
Yes, power
And you
to
know,
the puppy.
sometimes the puppy bites back.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well
Natalie,
deserved.
where can we find you and ZOZ Productions on social media?
Social media is at ZOZ Productions, and at ZOZ Experience is all of our events.
ZOZ, ZOZ.
Correct.
Pretty
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
you personally?
Yeah. And me personally
Yeah, sister.
on my social media, ZOZ Experience and ZOZ Productions is perfect.
Wonderful.
That all comes to me.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being on the Leaf Life podcast.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, next week, Wes, very controversial one, guns and cannabis.
It'll be
Oh.
an important conversation.
Just going to leave it at that. There you
Dun,
go.
dun, dun.
Dun,
Tune
dun,
in.
007.
Download this and all Leaf Life episodes at leafmagazines.com. And please subscribe on YouTube at Leaf Life Podcast V2. Now get ready for another episode of Stony Baloney, which is also available at leafmagazines.com. And please be kind to animals.
Your hosts for Leaf Life are Mike Ricker and Wes Abney. Leaf Life is produced by Mike Daly. Some of the music heard is provided by purple-planet.com. Every bit of cannabis you use is female, so please respect the ladies. Leaf Life is brought to you by Leaf Nation, featuring Alaska Leaf, Oregon Leaf, Northwest Leaf, Maryland Leaf, Utah Leaf, Northeast Leaf, and California Leaf. On the shelf now in your local retailer. Now, please stay tuned for this week's edition of Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
Worrying about the wrong shit. If you think about it, much of your precious time is spent future tripping over things that have never happened or most likely will never happen. Because in your mind, living with concern is a necessary means to survival, oftentimes spent devising some sort of escape strategy, calculating the risk of ill preparation. But in reality, should the calamity actually take place, it will never affect your space. Yet, you even commiserate at times, stricken with worry over what if and when. Now, you may be thinking that this is a misrepresentation of the word commiserate. It's a strong, emotionally charged word. But if you break it down to its etymology, it undoubtedly originated from the Latin equivalent to the word misery. And what you're doing is making yourself unnecessarily miserable simply from fear of the unknown. And largely to blame is the influence of mainstream media with messages of dramatic storylines loaded with cliffhangers, oftentimes hyper-focused on one isolated report or opinion. Admittedly, this is difficult to ignore. They are scare tactics. Your attention has value, and these entities will go to great lengths and compromise integrity in the name of fiscal profit, which keeps the lights on at Fox News and CNN. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe misery provides a familiar comfort space for you. Like we've all witnessed the odd kitten in a litter, right? Where all are normal except for the one that is simply evil. And you think to yourself, why is that cat so mean while the others are friendly and cuddly? The only explanation is that it must find some purpose in living in a defensive manner. Well, some people are the same way. Except stoners. They commiserate over an empty nug jug. But they're used to it. And they think the news is funny.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming.
Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug.
There may be health risks associated with consumption of these products.
For use by adults 21 and older.
Keep out of the reach of children.